All right, what is up? What is going on, everybody? We'll see how this stream goes. Uh, I checked the internet. It's it's not 100%. We'll see how it goes. I'm still under the weather a little bit, but if you guys can hear me, or if you have any issues watching the stream, please let me know so I know if we're good or not. I do have it playing in the background, and I'm gonna see if I notice. I can already see fuzziness, so we'll see. Let's see if I can catch up here. And there's probably a delay. Yeah. Okay. What is up? Kitchen Cowboy, Jason Johnson, Rudy, Mike, and Freon Leon. What is up? We're gonna see how it goes. I feel like the internet was working all day up until I decided to stream, and then it just completely dropped off. Like we had really good speeds earlier, because now I gotta monitor it because it has not been working at night. What they probably are doing is throttling at certain hours or something. Yeah, that's what I pulled it up. I can see that it's like not full HD quality. So we'll go for a bit, see how it does, see if it clears up or not. If the audio cuts out, that's where the problem is, or if I freeze. So what's up, everybody? Welcome back to a Sunday night stream. How is everybody doing? I worked yesterday. I'm looking 8-bit instead of 32. It is what it is. I'm gonna have to go complain to my internet provider. It's all good. All right. We'll see how it does. Hopefully, yeah, video quality not the best. Audio good. All right. What is up, everybody? The video is going to be a little bit off just because of I don't know what the hell's going on with my internet. It's not the speed or anything. It looks like they're throttling it at certain times. So it might be like a congestion thing. So where they don't have it full speed at certain hours, and I always do it late at night, and that's probably when they do this. So how's everybody doing? How's the shoulder season going for everybody? How's the work? How's weekend? Everything might be getting better though. All right. Yeah, I worked yesterday. I had a freezer. I have to go back tomorrow because I don't have the right part for it. But we got them going, and they were super happy. I have not slept much. I've had so much to do over the weekend, and we're gonna get back to work tomorrow, and we'll see how the week goes. Uh, take off your glasses, and it'll look crystal clear, man. um, yeah, I was monitoring it. I think the quality kind of came back in. Maybe we're just bad for. I I reset the router and everything, so we should be good. Now, if I have, trying to remember what. It's hard for me to keep track of the stuff that we talk about because I always have something that I want to talk about and I just completely forget about it. And then, like I said, I haven't been feeling good, so I only get sick when my kids get sick. So, getting over that, hopefully, will be good this week. Last week during HVAC nights, I was very out of it, and Jake powered through that one. I think the internet was acting up on that one too, but it is what it is. I have been seeing a lot of guys starting a business. I had a few podcast episodes that I recorded, and we've talked about like a lot more about people that don't want to run a business. So maybe I will get into that a little bit, and which is perfectly fine. I always thought, because when I was in school, I thought that was everybody's end game, right? Like to run a business or own a business. And even myself, I told a couple of the guys that I recorded with, like today and yesterday, I just wanted to be an employee. I wanted to be 8 to 5, 9 to 5, and clock out. And who knows, if my dad didn't have this business, I might have just stuck to that, because I loved being just a good technician and being the best technician, and just competing with everybody around me, and trying to better myself in that aspect of my skills and everything that I do. And I might have just preferred that over running a business, because it's a whole different beast. And the only reason I do this is because it's my dad's business, and I have to take over, right? So we're in the process of doing that, getting everything legal, what do you call it? Getting all the legal side done, because I never wanted, and it goes back to me not wanting to be a business owner. I never wanted to have anything under my name. And I knew I was a kid. I knew I was going to like screw it up. So thankfully I didn't, and I waited. Let him build it up. Let him decide what to do with it. I've been a quiet partner, because we do two different trades, and we do two different trades, so we're more partners than anything. So I've been able to do my own thing, and put in place a lot of stuff that I want when I do eventually just completely take over. So like, the CRM, the jobber stuff, automation stuff. We use AI now, so we're doing all that stuff. Because again, I don't want to work 24/7. I don't want to let it consume me the way I've seen it do to others, and even do to my dad. And people can get physically sick over stressing out too much, and just it's not good for you, right? So I'm trying to put in place where the business can be successful, but I'm not like going crazy trying to run it. Christmas party. Did you guys get any? How was it? Was it good? Anything? We've always been just family, so we haven't done anything like that. I'm looking into possibly having a location at some point. Never made any sense to have a location, because we never had. It was always me and my dad, and we were always working. Office was always empty. It didn't make sense. But now we have a ton of guys. We're up to 8, so we'll consider it now, especially to hold equipment and stuff like that. We are running into that issue. I'm having to use like a storage unit right now for a lot of my stuff. So maybe a location, a little office might make more sense now. What is up? I want to say that's D-Tolls, but now it says Burnt Toast. YouTube, I think, changed all the usernames changed it from the actual names to the usernames now. So now that's what I see on my end. Gonna start prepping for 2027. We're hectic. I don't like it. I do like it and I don't like it, but we've been hectic. I can't stop. I can't get away from the work. It's been coming in, but it's good because we got guys that we need to fill their schedule with, so can't complain. Work is good. We're in demand, and I'm not going to complain or any of that stuff right now. I have a kitchen refrigeration interview in a couple days with little experience. Any advice? I'm not sure if anybody has answered this one yet, but won a TV. Good. Won a TV and sold it. There you go. If you don't need it, cash out. As far as interviews go, from what I understand, and what we look for in people, it's not about. With some people, it is going to be experience based, which is unfortunate. Which is why eventually, right now is like a little trial run, but I want to keep the guys that we got right now. So right now we're doing, we're taking on new hires, new apprentices, and one came from nursing. One had a little bit of experience who actually worked for us many years ago. Went to go do a job at a supply house, and he went to go do um, like maintenance for a warehouse for HVAC and like handyman stuff. And then the other two kids are straight out of high school. So the one that has experience kind of fell into our laps because he was in between jobs and he needed something, and now he wants to stay long term, which is fine. He's okay earning his keep. Everybody's like on a probation type of deal. So what I look for and what other people look for, as if it's not experience, because some people just straight up unfortunately want experience, is just and what I was getting to is I want to have like some sort of apprenticeship program, because that is the hardest part of people getting hired, is when there's experience required. And I would love to have a situation set up where I can bring in either people from trade school or like locally that can't find a job, give them like a year or two of on the job training at a lower wage, like something decent, and have them help, and we get the labor help there, and then they can move on. That was always my thing, because I never wanted to grow like super big. So at some point, like I said, right now we're doing a lot of training. I've actually enjoyed it, and maybe at some point we can do apprenticeship type of program, and kind of have people coming in to get their experience. But other than experience, it's just like, are you a go-getter? What's your personality like? Are you personable? Are you going to ask questions? And are you going to be like memorable to them and show that you want to really do this? So the guy that came from nursing is super good, and he's running his own van now. Like, he's just been soaking up everything, asking a ton of questions, and just doing the work, like not complaining. None of the guys complain. Like the two kids from high school do not complain. They will get on the floor, they will get in the grease, they will do everything that is asked, because some of us older techs on the team can't do a lot physically anymore. So they're willing to kind of do that kind of work now. And yeah, as long as, because I've talked to some kids that get jobs pretty quick in any, they go to these job interviews, and the people like them and will hire them just based on personality, right? Like obviously my whole thing was like, don't be a kiss ass, but like go and be nice and be personable and talk and ask questions and show initiative. Tell them what you kind of like, your expectations of either the company or yourself. Like, what do you want to learn? If you don't know something, you want to learn it, you want to find the answers to it. That is something my dad kind of instilled in me, was, talking to a customer. If I don't know something, I'm going to find out. I'm going to find the answer. I'm going to get you the, whatever it is you need. You can't just be like, I don't know. So, just, it's like a mindset. It's like a, like I said, personality. Have a good, what was he saying? Have a good, I can't think right now. Yeah, just have a good outlook when you go into a job interview. don't be negative, like be positive, all that kind of stuff. And just, if you are applying at a lot of places, like, that for one reason or another, it might not work out, and it's not you, right? It's like they needed somebody with experience, or they're being picky, or whatever it is. Like, as long as you are a good sport and you want to show them what you want to, what your plan is and what you expect from yourself, as well as a company, that should go well for you. Taking the NorCal route. Wait, I stripped a rethermalizer today to start a building, new training unit. Oh, to go out on your own on 2027. Nice. Oh, is that what you guys meant about the NorCal route? That's what he does, right? He does. I haven't watched any recent videos, but he does. Because I was confused for a while when I was watching him. He does like his own thing on the side, and he still has his like main job. I'm gonna do both until I can't handle it, and then pick the one that's working. Yeah, I just talked to somebody today that is teaching, but he wants to get his license, and then he's gonna do like some of the jobs that he can handle, right? Like do both, and then he'll figure out like what he wants to do. But he's a really good teacher, so I hope he doesn't quit that. Build and sell in 10 years. I cannot tell you how many people have been bugging me to buy my damn company, or our company. And I already told one off recently. That is a plan, though. That is a good plan if that's what you want to do. Because I've talked about that with somebody. I can't do that because it's not mine. It's my dad's. He passed it on. I'm grateful for that. I've always joked with him that if I wanted to do my own thing, I already have everything in place for reliable HVACR, reliable HVAC, anything like that. But I'm going to, take what he started, build it up, and then pass it on to my kids. The only reason I would sell at any point, but this would be way when I can't do it anymore, physically, or I can't train and get new people, is if I don't have like my kids to pass it to, like if they're not in the trade, if they are successful at anything else, then I would sell it. But it is crazy in demand. And I have people hounding me to buy it, and I keep telling them it's not for sale. It's a good sized company. You have to have a good personality. They will find a place for you. What is up, supermarket refrigeration? I saw your message come through. I will get back to you later today. What was I going to say? Excuse the poor quality. I can see that it dipped again. I don't know what's going on with my internet. Let's see. Appreciate all the podcasts. 2026, I'm starting a business, switching from subcontracting. Awesome. Congrats. Good luck in, whatever you want to do when you start your business. Some people everybody's success is different. So that's something that I try to remind people, because I mentioned earlier, I don't want to be a big company. Some people want like 20 to 40 vans. I don't want that headache. You guys already know how Kurt is, how some of these other guys are. They want to be a one-man show, which is perfectly fine. I want to be in between. I want to be like an 8 to 10, 8 to 10 vans, technicians out there running calls to where it's like manageable. So that's my aspiration right there. And we've managed to do a lot of that this year. And if you you mentioned the podcast, if there's anything that I can help with, because I turn down quite a bit of, I get caught. I never imagined what this podcast would be. I did it for fun. I did it as a live stream, like this is. That's why I brought this Sunday night stream, or I guess brought it back, but I brought this to have a conversation with you. Jeez. Still a little sick for anybody joining right now. I brought these Sunday night streams to the channel to bring back this kind of conversation, because initially those podcasts were live streams that I started having people on to talk and talk shop and all that kind of stuff. And it's just a place where I can kind of use my platform to give people an opportunity to tell their story. And I have some really great ones that have been on throughout the 3 years of doing it now. And I was super excited for the ones that I recorded today, just because they're super unique and kind of go to that mindset of like, there's no excuse. And you guys will see within the next couple of weeks what I'm talking about. But I get so many emails. I get so many people that want to be on the podcast. I get so much, like, it gets so much attention, especially now doing the podcast pavilion. It gets out of hand. I turn down so many people, but if there's anything that you guys want to see on there, especially for next year, whether it's more business related podcasting, if you guys want somebody on that maybe can give actual advice on starting up a business, can give advice on being profitable, maybe somebody, I will screen them before they come on. I don't like to let just anybody on. Yeah, I can kind of see that it's dipping out a little bit. If there's anything that I can help with, let me know, because like I said, I mentioned those. There's even one, not one, but like I said, I'll screen them before they come on, because I don't want to have anybody on. But like, I have people that want to come on and talk sales, a whole bunch of stuff. And this year I just ended up turning them all down, because I can't keep up with the amount of people that want to be on, that I actually want to interview, which is like, smaller content creators, technicians out in the field, people that are still out doing this stuff are always going to get priority. I don't like to have companies on. And every now and then you'll see one of my sponsors come on, but that's just because, I think they have something cool to talk about, so we'll talk about it. But yeah, if there's anything as far as like, because I know like up to are like Gil, right? HVAC Uncensored, and some of the other podcasters, and they do that kind of podcasting. And I don't know if that's something that I should bring to, my podcast. So let me know if there's any feedback on the podcast, what you want to see going forward. I've played around with kind of changing it up for next year, but I'm not sure yet. I still have a lot of people that are on my list that I haven't gotten to. That's not a good sign. All the oil is black. Yeah, I can see that it's like dipping out. Let me see something. Anyway, let me get back to the to the chat. I'll have to figure this out before the next night's live stream. I'll be honest, I don't try to work all the OT or really do try to do more than 40 hours, since prioritizing my personal life more has made my work life better and more enjoyable. It's just the guys that I talk to, because I had to explain that to, like I said, some of the people that I podcasted with. As far as like what you know certain individual wants is not the same as like the next. Like there's different goals that you have, and I just can't do that to myself, and my family, just to be out doing this. And like it's a little different for me because I do content creation, right? I do podcasting, I do all this stuff. So like any free time that I do have, which is like after work, not necessarily like during any I don't do this, like the editing and all that. I don't do it in all my free time. Like there are weekends that I don't do any editing, I don't do any content. Everything that you see is a lot of it's like pre-recorded in batches, and then I slowly like post it. And in the evenings I stop, I don't do it. And then maybe like right before bed I might do something because everybody's asleep. So I work around it. I don't let it interfere with any plans on my personal life. Any trips, vacation, anything with the kids, stuff like that. I don't want it to interfere. So I've had guys that hound me on like that mindset, and I understand, because my whole life I've had people that don't like the way that my personality, which is super carefree, super like it is what it is. If it happens, something bad happens, move on, don't dwell on it, that kind of thing. And I still do that. Like I live my life like that because I hate stressing over things. I hate thinking about the past. I hate thinking about like negative things. So I've had older guys that have really successful businesses look at me like, what are you doing? You should be grinding. You should be working. And these guys post that they work at midnight and they're working weekends and they brag about it. And I'm like, I'm sitting in my house having dinner with my family, or we're barbecuing outside. The kids are playing around. I've said this before, like, well, to my family, like my kids laughing in the background, playing, and us being outside, just hanging out, just talking. That's my happy place. Or a vacation. We just took a trip recently. That is my happy place. My business will make money. My business will be good. I take care of the guys. I take care of everything that they need. I take care of all the business end, which I need to catch up on paperwork today. And I just, let it ride. Like, you controlling it and letting it consume you, letting it keep you up all night doesn't really do a whole lot for you. It does in the beginning. You do have to hustle. So all of you guys, which is kind of why I wanted to talk about it, because like even in this chat here, a couple of guys have said that they're going to go on their own. That's kind of what I started this stream with, the conversation of, seeing so many people doing their own business. It's a great thing to see. So when you start, yes, you're hustling, you're doing everything that you can. You're going to be dead tired. You're going to be running around. You're going to be figuring it out. Unless you already have something in place, you have something prepped, which is even better. But for the most part, you're going to hustle a lot. So like, it's better when you do it younger. It's better when you do it before your kids, or you have kids, or your kids are too old to where you miss things. Like, take advantage if you're younger and you can do it then versus later. But yeah, that stuff is a whole work-life balance, and you'll be much happier if you can separate the two. much happier if you can take yourself away from work and separate it. And your family will remember. Your kids will remember if you were not there, if you were there, if you blew them off, if you were grumpy. They'll remember. I remember how my dad was, and he was great. Like, he was always at my school volunteering. He took us to school in the morning. We played sports, so he was at most of the games. Obviously, he couldn't make all of them because he works. You know, he did a lot of late shifts, overnight shifts, stuff like that. So he was there majority of the time. And I remember that. And I keep that in mind for my kids. Whatever they want to do, whatever they want to get into, they're starting to get into their own interests and different things. And like I said, I want to travel more. So they will remember that. And they'll hold it against you if you weren't there. All right, man. Later, I will get back to you shortly. No, that was it. That was a good one. Don't sell yourself short. No, like you should. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example because I don't normally talk about my guest list, but I'll give you an example of the emails I get. So, what's that dude's name? The Four Quarters guy was trying to be on the show for a good while, and I wanted to reply. I wanted to say something, but I decided just to ignore it, and eventually they stopped asking. So like that guy wanted to be on. I would not be able to do a show. I might be able to do a show with him, but I don't know if I would be able to. It would be one of those if I did an episode with a guy like that, like him or anybody else that's like him. We would have to. And I considered it because I talked to someone else about these people because, you know, they all these, a lot of these guys that have their people reach out, that they want to be on the show, that they want to be on the podcast, reach out to everybody. So you might see people making the rounds on the podcast scene like everybody else's. And if you see them pop up on all of them, it's because they were all reached out at the same time and they all said yes. Like I said, I typically don't say yes to those. I had talked to another podcaster about him in specific, and he even wanted to call him out on their show. And I was like, that's what I wanted to do. But then he's like, you don't want to do that because that guy, that Four Quarters guy, likes to sue people for defamation and stuff like that. Like, he likes to scare people. That's what made me just not respond anymore, because I was like, I'm not gonna have him on, because if I want to say what I really think and he gets offended, that's gonna be just worse than, you know, just not having him on or anything. So there's times like that where it's like salespeople I have right now. I was looking through my list of people that have requested salespeople. There's a banker in there right now. There's like HVAC business coaches, which is, like I said, like it could be helpful to some of you. So I'll have to consider some of them. But what is this guy? Investment banker for HVAC. This other guy is some director. And then that one I did. Somebody from Interplay Learning wants to be on the show. That one I had considered because that would be just interesting to talk about, that whole VR training. It's based Interplay Learning, because they had it at AHR, is basically where you put on a VR headset and you have the controls and everything, and it walks you through. And it looks like it's very cartoon like, but it looks like an AC unit that you're taking apart, and it kind of walks you through. And I guess tells you if you did it right or not, so that you can move on to the next step and stuff like that. So That one like was interesting because it's interplay learning. I would be interested in learning more about their product. And these some of these other kids haven't answered me, and they requested to be on, which is, we'll just move on from them. And some other guys like that do recruiting and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of requests that I get in there, and we kind of screen through them and see what's a good fit. Don't forget to hit the like button. But I enjoyed the one with Mike. That was one of the good ones. There's some other people I know I talk, and if we've ever talked, anybody that's watching right now or listening to this later, I have a list. I just have not gotten through it. It's taking me a while. Stuff comes up, that we put people on. I have people that offer or volunteer to be on, which is the best way to get on is just to volunteer, because then I know you want to be on, instead of me trying to go find you and kind of ask and see and gauge your interest and all that. So if you want to volunteer, by all means, volunteer to be on the podcast, and from there, I usually have you fill out the form is on my website. So if you guys want to. Yeah, and that's my whole thing, Cowboy. But Gil is like really good at this. So like he has a good conversation with just about anybody. I would have to get uncomfortable to have those people on to see if there's any benefit or beneficial information to do those, right? Like, and I've talked to him, and he kind of does that sometimes, but now he does them live, or he's always done them live, but like. When I talk to him, he's like, yeah, if they want to come on, we kind of record, and only if he likes the way it went will he post it or put it on the audio. And I've kind of thought about that because I record all mine now. I could record them and just not promise that it'll be out, right? Like I just hold on to it unless it's a really good episode where they can kind of just stick to being informational. I don't want them to plug in any product. That's always my concern, is like I have that disclaimer on my website. If you go to my website, there is a link where you can volunteer to be on the podcast, and on the bottom it says, if you guys are looking to promote any product, we don't do that unless you're going to pay for a sponsorship, and we'll do it another way. I prefer not to do that because I don't want that to be every week, like pushing products. So that's just what that is. And but yeah, Gil has amazing episodes with everybody. So that's kind of who I look to when I think of it. I'm like, should I do it? Should I not? So we'll try it. And I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, if you want to volunteer, that's always the best way to do it. Go on my website, hit the guest spot form. There's a link there, and you fill it out. That way I know what you're interested in talking about, a little bit of information about you, and then we'll get you on. I've had so many kids, a lot of the recent guests have done that, got in that way, and then we get their episode out pretty quick. Interplay is a good training tool. We have access to that. It uses VR and regular computer. Company uses it for yearly training requirements. I need to look into it because this particular person that reached out about it, but I don't think it's a direct. I think it's like a. Let's see. I have another one from CEO Warrior. I have no idea what that is, but I'm not heavy on the business influencers or like any of those people that are business coaches. I don't know a lot of them. I get asked all the time to do these podcasts for other business podcasters, and I've always told them I don't watch any of those business people. I don't get coaching. I don't get, like, it's just me and my dad. It's like two guys out here winging it, and we just charge more than we spend, and we do good work. That's our model. That's our business model, right? Um, so like this one, it's somebody from CEO Warrior, Growth Advisor. I have no idea like any of these people. And the interplay. I might do the interplay one. I'm interested in hearing what they have to say. And I would love to know, I don't know what the cost is on interplay, but like you mentioned, you guys do it, or they have it in place to do yearly training. We have 2 high school kids that came on. I would love to have this for them because the one guy, the first one that came over, and now he's bringing his friend over, um, heard of a Skill Cat, and he's been doing that. I'm like, yeah, I know that program. If you want to use it, go ahead. We'll pay for it. And Skill Cat is a good one, right? So he's going to try it out, see how he likes it. And we were telling our guys at the last meeting, because every now and then we try to have like a business lunch meeting and stuff like that. So, okay. Kitchen Cowboy, that's good to know. I get interested in those too, so I just have to figure out a way, because right now the way I have my like when you're coming on the show, I do have a list of things to think about or questions to look at. I would need to have a different outline when I have companies or business side people come on. But I've been interested in doing it because I have just been doing more of the business side myself. So like just kind of kind of not catering, but taking you guys along with me, whether it's the channel or the podcast or whatever. I am doing more business stuff now. So you might see that reflected in either my content or my podcast. So that's just a natural thing because, I'm doing more of that. So that's why I've been interested in doing more of those. And like you said, as long as I can come up with some topics or some things that would be beneficial to a new business or a business that maybe, is already been around, like you already been open for a few years and you want to know how to grow something or how to do something, like that's where it'd be beneficial. And I've just seen so many people starting a business in the past like 2 years, which is crazy. It's great to see, great to hear. I hope everybody does well. I even like seeing it, locally. I don't see a lot of competition, and trust me, I've seen my competition. I am very confident in what we have right now, and it's not just about one thing here and there. Like you have to be a good business everywhere. Good on the business side, good on the technician and technical skills side, good personality and being personal. There's so many aspects to it, and I think we have all that. So I'm pretty confident. But like if you need help with that, I would love to have a conversation. I just didn't want to be like negative to where they're trying, or undermine them where they're trying to explain something and I'm like, we didn't do it that way. Oh, we did word of mouth. Oh, we did this. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but everybody's different. It might help somebody else, right? So it's been on my mind to do that in my own style, where it's still shop talk and not like I can let them be technical, but I can kind of interject with what happens on my side, or what I've seen, or what I've seen works or what doesn't work, or what I've noticed from other companies here. That's something that we talk about quite a bit, even in our meetings. Like I was mentioning for work, we have these lunch meetings, and okay, so that's awesome. I'm definitely gonna look into interplay because of those 2 kids, but I'm gonna do it myself too. Like I wanna learn more as well. And we have another guy that I said came back, and he's younger than I am, so I think it'll benefit a lot of us if we can get into some virtual training. I've even considered, having more in-person training from other people or other companies. I've I volunteer as tribute. Have you been on Pat's or anybody's? I feel like I've seen you. But yeah, man, if you want to be on, please fill out the form on my website, reliablehvacr.net. I'm already looking at booking out next year. I've already set December for the final guests. I already have a group for next year. So just if you want to be on the podcast, just fill it out, and we'll get you on that group. There's a lot already, and I already have some that I want to get on the show that hopefully will work out, and some companies here and there that I'm excited to talk with to explain some stuff that I'm, excited for. And I think I have a Milwaukee tool podcast that hasn't come out yet. I think they were going to have it ready by January, so I might throw that in there. And I want to interview them again and talk to Milwaukee Tools, and hopefully, get some other people like that, other companies like that can walk us through some of the, I don't know if you guys want to hear from Vito. I had the owner, Roger from Vito Pro Pack. I had pitched the idea of them having the design team come on the show, because I know the design team, or whatever you call them, that make the bags. And I was like, it'd be cool to have you guys on and just kind of walk us through what goes on, how far ahead you guys have bags planned, what kind of feedback you guys get, stuff like that. So just kind of giving some insights as to what next year might look like, Oh, you've done a couple. I know I've seen one. I didn't know you had done more than one. KWHVAC, appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the content. You inspire and teach the small guys like me and others. Thank you for the good, kind words. I like to evaluate, my company, right, at work. And I also do the same thing with my content, with my channel, with all that kind of stuff. And there's been a wave of new guys coming in, which I greatly enjoy watching. I watch those guys too, right? I watch a lot of Jake's videos, a lot of Hvac's videos. There's some supermarket guys that I watch. I try to watch them all, and I try to subscribe to as many as I can. They're the new, like I said, the new wave coming in. So I appreciate the words, because it helps. And somebody else, or we had one mention earlier that the podcast helps. It's always good to hear that, because I get messages every now and then, and those are cool to read, because you never know how this helps people. Because I've talked to people that want to get into content creation, or that have been doing it for a while, and I always say, as long as you have the right intentions, you're gonna have fun with it. You're gonna enjoy it. Don't look at it as a way to get rich. Like, I know some guys look at YouTube and they're like, oh, those guys are making some good money. Some people do. Mine does okay. I get more from the sponsors and kind of the help that I get from those companies, and I greatly appreciate any sponsors that I get. And it's been, you don't know your value, right? Like, without knowing, without getting feedback. So like those companies that hit me up, enjoy my content, guys like you that leave words like this, messages like this, I love that. And it's always good to know that I'm doing something right. And I've always said, if it's 1-2 people that watch, or 1,000 people, or whatever I have now, 20,000 people, if it's fun for me, I'm going to keep doing it. So I appreciate that. Brett Wetzel's training was half interplay and hands-on training when he did the 6-month. Oh, okay. homemade fried chicken strips are done. Peace out. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk soon. But yeah, like the whole business. Let me look up this interplay thing. The whole business thing, that's been on my mind a lot, because like I said, it doesn't take much. We've done well. We've made mistakes. We do a lot of learning on the fly with running a business and all that, and we've been able to be consistent the past like 5 years or so, and grown a lot. Well, a little bit longer than that, and then we've grown a lot in the what do you call it? The last few years, we've grown quite a bit, and super grateful. But what was I getting at? The business side. And you see a lot of this information online where it's like, start a business, you can become a millionaire, you can become this and that. And I brought that up. Actually, my guests have brought that up on their own as well, about like taking a pay cut to get into the trades. I did it too. I came from groceries. I took a pay cut, and yeah, to interview, yeah, and so yeah, like I took a pay cut to come into the trades from a grocery store. Like you don't make a lot of money when you start. That's just a fact. And they have all these, like McDonald's and all these other places that are trying to offer like $20 an hour. I've seen some $30 an hour, like, but what is that career? Like, what's your future? Cause that was my deciding factor from leaving that. And it was a few things. It wasn't just that, but like from leaving that grocery store, where was I going to go? I got denied my raises. They didn't want to give me the raise. I was super loyal. I never called in. I wasn't late. I covered other shifts. When I started, something happened. We lost one of the guys in my department. I was in the grocery department, and the old guys that I was supposed to be working with and writing or like learning from, I mean, they taught me really quick, but they got pulled out because we started losing people in other departments, and they had to go cover them, right? So then I got left alone, and it's supposed to be like a 3-man not rotation, but like there's supposed to be 3 people on that floor from what I remember. 2 to 3 people at minimum. And I'm by myself. I'm a kid. This is straight out of high school. And I busted my ass. I was literally like sprinting and running and just, what do you call that? Oh my God, power walking like everywhere just to get the boxes thrown out, get the trash out, get the compactor going, get the, yeah, get all the customers taken care of. Cause I live by Mexico, right? So there's a lot of customers that come over to shop. So like dealing with that, I'm not fluent in Spanish. I understand it, very well. And I was better at speaking it when I would speak it every day at that job because I had to. Like I did all these things, right? And I covered, and like I said, I maintained that department. And every time we had evaluation or we had a talk with, the managers there, you're not doing enough. Can't give you the raise. You're not doing enough. You're not this, you're not that. You're not quick enough, this and that. I'm literally running to every spot that I need to be at, or running to run out to do the trash thing, or running out to whatever. Customer needs something, I'm going above and beyond to get them the help. So when my dad started his business and, needed help with paperwork, and I do a lot of the business side, even from the get-go, because I was good with computers, documents, business cards. I like to do logos. I like to draw, or at that time I did all that stuff. So, he used me to his benefit, and it worked out great because I could do that until I figured out, to actually learn the trade, which I did do food service for like a year, and then I got into HVAC. But um, yeah, like even to this day, every time something comes up, and he's like, "Well, that's what I got you for, right?" Like I'm the computer guy. I know all the new technology. I know how to Photoshop and logo design and all that kind of stuff. So he's like, "Yeah, that's what I got you for." So my dad was great at networking and turning wrenches. But yeah, I felt so good going in there and telling them, you know what, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go work for my dad. And that's when they're like, oh no, like can we do anything? Like I'm like, I've been treated like crap here. I already made up my mind. I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna take a pay cut. I don't know I don't know how well it's gonna go, right? But I knew getting into the trades and having the benefit of my dad doing that was a much better opportunity than staying somewhere where I wasn't appreciated. And I really liked that job because I typically worked nights. I was somebody that slept in and stayed up all night, so that worked out for me. My coworkers were all basketball players. I found out later, and they would go play basketball after work, right at midnight, and I would go play with them, and we had a good time. So all that worked out. I enjoyed doing it for as long as I did. I did it for like a year or something, or maybe not even a year. And it was just, not making enough and not getting those raises and not getting opportunity to excel in that work environment. I was like, screw that. I'm going to go work for my dad. And like I said, I made less. We didn't make a lot of money when we started, and, just figured that would be better later. It would pay off later. And thankfully I did that. And yes, the best raise is when you leave. As each week goes by, we are getting closer to AHR. Excited to go to Vegas for once. Hope it meets my expectations. Which one did you go to prior to the other one? Was it Chicago or Atlanta? Vegas is my favorite one. You'll have a good time. So the Vegas one. Are any of you guys doing the award show or just the expo? And there's guys, if you keep up, like Chris Stevens always goes in early. I think Pat Finley goes in early. I'm trying to go in early, and sometimes they'll meet up to have like lunch or dinner. So we'll be there. We'll be there all weekend, and then we'll be there Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm gonna leave on Wednesday early, ish, and it'll be a good time. I went with my brother last time, and we just went and like tried different restaurants, and I've been out a couple times since then, and it's a good one. That was the first one that I went to. AHR is in Vegas. Interesting. That's the first one I went to, and it was a good time. Just don't be out on the streets late at night, get taken advantage of like Gil did. If you guys want that story, go check out HVAC Nights where we had Ben and Gil on the show. That was interesting. But I think that was it. Let's see. I guess I need to ask Interplay about their pricing. I don't see it on here. But I would love to get it for the guys. And oh, okay, was that Atlanta you went to? Um, yeah, because they've been interested, and we've been telling them like any kind of course, any kind of training that you guys want to do, please let us know. And when we have what do you call it? When we have I don't know if we're gonna have a slow season, a shoulder season. It's been busy, typically that's when we would do training back in my earlier years. Like we would do training like during this time, and we would do just catching up and doing other things to keep us busy and do all the in-person trainings. Whatever like Johnstone was offering, they always do stuff there too. And now they have virtual classes and everything. I think they invited me to some A2L ones or something like that, or Carol, I can't say that, trainings and stuff like that. But I always enjoyed the in-person ones a whole lot better. Saturday to, oh, you're gonna stay till Thursday. All right. Well, enjoy it. It's a good place to do it. I'm looking forward to enjoying the city as well. Uh, yeah, because I went with my brother. My friends actually were there that same week, so it was a fun time. That first time that I went out. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff. There's plenty of good food, plenty of people that you can meet up with. Everybody's there, obviously, and trying to enjoy the trip more this time than I did, these previous years, because I feel like I'm always running to try and do something. But I'm gonna slow down, hang out. So if you guys see me on the floor, please just catch up with me. I think I'm doing the Jobber booth again. I think I'm doing the Ambro Controls booth again. We're podcasting at the Pavilion twice, and there's a couple others that are not like scheduled yet, but I am gonna do some booth stuff. So yeah. I'm glad you had Ben on. We changed our hotel to where the award show is being held. Same here. I had not booked. I booked immediately after that, and because I don't know these things either. Like I was like, I just pick a random hotel. I stayed at the Flamingo last time, and then after that we were there for a jobber thing, but they got the hotel. It was the Virgin Mobile Hotel or whatever. And yeah, once he mentioned that, I'm like, oh, we don't have to deal with Uber or what do you call it, the shuttle. I don't like doing the shuttle either, and the shuttle is only at certain times. And we'll see how that works out, because I've never been on the monorail, but if you can go back and forth, take that as your transportation. That is awesome. So I booked it too. I got that one. That's the Sahara. And then you'll be there for the award show. Yeah, they have a ton of classes. Well, this reminds me, I don't know if you're talking about AHR or not, but AHR has a ton of classes as well. The Manitowoc classes, when they come down, I enjoyed going to those. You would get the manuals. I mean, everything's different now. I'm just talking about like back in the day. You would get the manuals. You would see the new products coming out. They would feed you. I enjoyed going to those things. A lot of people didn't like them, and we did Manitowoc and Scotsman because we used to do a lot of warranty work, and you're required to go to those things. So I used to go to quite a bit. We don't do warranty work anymore, so if I go now, it's I volunteer to go. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody for coming on. I think I'm gonna end the show here. I think my internet cleared up finally, but it's been a while. Hope to see you guys at the AHR. Hopefully I feel better this week for nights. Hopefully we get the internet fixed and everything. We'll have a good show Thursday nights on HVAC nights. And yeah, just be safe out there. Hey, it was a damn good deal. For being Vegas, they weren't that bad. But yeah, hopefully you have a good work week. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you guys on Thursday. And I just got another call for tomorrow. See you guys.